In this video, we'll be solving one-step equations. One step means that to find a solution or the value of x, all we have to do is one operation. Let's see what operations and how to use them. In the addition or subtraction problems, we have constants. So the additions and subtractions are represented by numbers by themselves. They are called constants. In other words, if I look at this equation right here, x minus 7 equals negative 8, the negative 7 is the constant. So in a subtraction problem, the 7, or the subtraction by 7, is represented by a constant. Or here I have the variable x plus 2. So the variable added with 2 is addition by a number. It is represented by a constant. To solve equations, we use inverse operations. For addition, we use subtraction. And for subtraction, we use addition. So let's put a few examples in our organization chart. So constants are being added or subtracted, and they're numbers without a variable. So constants are represented by addition. So let's say plus 7, plus 5, or subtraction, minus 3, minus 2, plus 0.5, so we can have decimals as well, or let's say minus 0.8. In inverse operations, we need to take away the 7. So that means 7 minus 7 will create a zero pair. So to solve equation in addition problem, we'll take away, meaning subtraction, to create a zero pair. Plus 5, inverse will be minus 5. 5 minus 5 will equal 0. They will cancel each other. They create a zero pair. Negative 3, I can't take away, otherwise negative 3 minus 3 will be negative 6. So I have to use the inverse operation. For subtraction, we're going to use addition. Plus 3, because negative 3 plus 3 will be that zero pair. Negative 2 plus 2 will create a zero pair, because negative and positive cancel each other. 2 minus 2, subtract, that will be a 0. Plus 0.5, so we'll take away 0.5 to create a zero pair, or if it's a subtraction or minus 0.8, we'll have to add the 0.8 to create a zero pair. 0.8 minus 0.8 will be 0, or two opposites cancel each other. For multiplication, we have the variable terms. So that is like 2x, 3x, negative 7y, something multiplied. So to solve the equation that has multiplication, we'll use division as inverse operation. And we have to divide by same number, what the variable is multiplied by. So let's see a visual representation. Variable terms are represented by multiplications. So we had like 3x, or negative 2y, that means negative 2 times y, or negative t, that means negative 1 times t, or 7a, that means 7 times a, 10b, that means 10 multiplied by b, negative 4k, that is negative 4 multiplied by k. So the variable terms are our multiplication problems. A variable is a number, a variable multiplied by a number. So the coefficient, negative 2 multiplied by a variable. In multiplication problems where we have variable terms like that, we're going to use division. So the multiplications, variable terms, will be inversed by division. What we're going to do is divide by same number to create a unit. In other words, 1x, which will equal x. When you divide, you always divide by the same number. So divide by -2. If the variable is multiplied by -2, we divide by -2 because negative divided by negative will create a unit. T multiplied by -1, we have to divide by the same -1 to create that unit 1t, which is t. 7a, it's multiplication of 7 on a. We have to use division. 7 divided by 7 will be 1a. 10b means you have to use division to create 1b. -4k, we need to divide by -4 in order to create 1k. So negative multiplication, you use division by exact same number. It's important it has to be same number. In division problems, we have fractions. So in the division, they're represented usually either by division sign or fraction line. And to solve equation with division, and we're going to use multiplication. And it is important to use the same number as well. So the variable terms of multiplications, we use division, and for divisions or the fractions, we use multiplication. So I color-coded them with green because they are very similar in a way, and multiplication and division are inverse operations. So we're going to use our fractions here, where a variable will be multiplied by, a variable will be divided by a number, and then inverse operation will be multiplication. So here we have variable divided by 5, y divided by -3, let's say t divided by 7, k divided by -2, any variable m divided by -1, why not, s divided by -4, and then let's do x divided by 8. So those are variables divided by numbers. When the variable is divided by a number, it means what number divided by 5, what number divided by -3. In order to undo or use the inverse operation of division, we'll use multiplication in order to create that unit. So the variable divided by 5, we have to multiply by 5 in order to have that simplification involve 5 divided by 5 and have a 1x, which is just x. If the variable is divided by -3, you need to multiply both sides of the equation by -3. Multiply by 7 in order to create that 1t. You can show the multiplication here in front of the variable or here behind. So -2 we multiply in order to cancel out to 1k, or m need to be multiplied by -1, so both sides of the equation will be multiplied by the same number, where -1 will simplify -1, and that will be 1m. S divided by -4 means I need to multiply both sides of the equation by -4. Negative divided by negative will be a unit 1s. And x divided by 8 means both sides of the equation have to be multiplied by 8 to create that 1x. Let's see some examples. So in the first set, I have multiplication. To undo multiplication, use division. Or fraction, so fraction or division. And when you divide, you have to use the same exact number. So right here in my equation, I have -7x. That means -7 multiplied by what number will equal 56? So -7 times what equals 56? So -7x here, my variable term, represents a multiplication problem. Use division and divide by -7 both sides. Negative divided by negative will be your 1x, which is x. And the solution on the other side, -8. When you check, we substitute the value. So -7 times -8 is positive 56, which is 56 what we had in the problem. So my solution is checking out, and it is -8. In this equation, I have 12 equals 3x. That means 12 equals 3 multiplied by what number? So the question is the variable, and what is the number multiplied by 3 to get 12? To solve the equation, we have to divide what the variable is multiplied by. So we divide by 3 both sides, bring down the variable x, and then 12 divided by 3 equals 4. To check, we have to substitute that solution and see 4 times 3 equals 12. That means the variable x equals 4 because it makes a true statement in my equation. When I see fraction line or division, it means the variable is being divided. So we have to use multiplication. So if the variable is being divided, use multiplication by the same number on both sides. So this problem means what number divided by -2 equals 8? So it has to be a bigger number to divide by 2 to equal 8. Well, to use inverse operations, we are going to multiply both sides by -2, because if the variable is divided by -2, to solve, you have to multiply both sides by -2. Cancel, -2 divided by -2 equals 1, 1x, which is x, and then -16, because 8 times -2 is -16. So in this situation, we have to substitute -16 and see if our solution makes a true statement. Negative divided by negative is positive, 8, and that checks out just fine. Here we have a fraction where you have -1/5 x. I like to rewrite this fraction as 1 times x, which is x, and then divided by -5. -5, because of this negative, I can put either on the numerator or denominator. I have a choice. I like to put it on the denominator. So 1x is x, and then -5 on the denominator equals -20. So this problem means what number divided by -5 equals -20? Remember, it has to be a big number to divide by 5 to equal -20. So you have to use inverse operation. If the variable is being divided, we need to use inverse operation, which multiplication by the same number, -5, on both sides. That will give us the value of x, 100. Because 100 divided by -5 is -20. In the next equation, we have an addition problem. In the addition, we have positive. That means we have to use subtraction, which is negative. So to undo addition or positive, use subtraction or negative. So here the problem is asking what number plus 9 equals 5? It has to be actually a negative number to add a 9 and to equal 5. But let's see. Addition, inverse operation is subtraction. It means you have to subtract 9 on both sides. Why subtract? Because 9 minus 9 will create the 0 or cancel each other. The x will come down by itself, and 5 positive minus 9 is -4. So here we have the solution, -4 plus 9. -4 plus 9 means different sign, so we subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. So here is your 5. The solution makes a true statement by being replaced in the equation. This one, I say it's an addition problem as well. Even though I see a minus, I need to rewrite this problem as x plus 12 equals 6, because minus minus, double sign, negative times negative is positive. So this is essentially an addition problem, and it's asking what number plus 12 equals 6. That has to be a negative number as well, because 12 has to be added with a negative number to get something smaller. Let's see. Inverse operation of addition is subtraction, so that means you have to subtract 12 on both sides to create that 0 pair. X plus 0 equals x, and here is your -6, because 6 minus 12, we subtract bigger number 12, 6 is positive, and then is the solution negative 6. To check negative 6 plus 12, again subtract, sign of the bigger number is 6, so we have 6 equals 6, which works. The solution is negative 6. In a subtraction problem or negative, we use addition or positive. Inverse operation is addition or positive. So in addition problem, we use subtraction, and for a subtraction problem, we use addition. Here, the variable is being added with a negative 8. So that constant is what is subtraction or negative. We need to use the inverse operation, plus or positive. Because when we simplify, negative 8 plus 8 will be 0, and here is your x, and then 12 plus 8 will be 20. To check, this problem says negative 8 plus what number equals 12? So that 20 minus 8 is 12. When we substitute, creates a true statement. So your solution equals 20. Here, I see plus, but I say this is a subtraction problem because I need to rewrite this using one sign. Plus minus equals minus. You have this subtraction now involved, the variable minus 9. If it's a subtraction involved, inverse operation is addition. So that means my zero pair right here, x comes down, and 4 minus negative 4 plus 9 is 9 minus 4, which is 5. So the problem originally was what number minus 9 equals negative 4. So if I substitute instead of x 5, 5 minus 9 equals negative 4, because we have to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. So my solution is 5 because it makes a true statement by being replaced in the original equation.